apparently there's going to be a new Blasphemous trailer coming up. I just wanted to check it out.
Now, don't forget to visit IGN Rewards for your chance to take part in all the giveaways happening all summer long. Just go on over to IGN.com/rewards right now and sign up to become a member of our growing community. Now, there's tons more benefits like free codes for games like the online PvP and co-op virtual reality game Rift VR. Okay, now I've been here talking at you long enough. Right now, it's time to turn things over to Damon and the rest of the IGN crew to kick off the pre-show coverage of Summer Game Fest.
All right.
Take it away.
Well, there's supposed to be a new Blasphemous 2 trailer coming up in just a few minutes. It's been a minute since I did some streaming, so now I've heard a rumor about the release date for Blasphemous 2. Let's see if it's true because it could be a bit complicated.
Meet Dave, an interesting little human with a precarious love for the sea. He spends his days diving the chilling depths of a mysterious blue hole. And when he isn't merely surviving or rummaging resources, he's often found snapping photographs, racing seahorses, farming, and really anything that grabs his attention. It's this gluttonous appetite for adventure that gets him into all kinds of unique situations. Luckily, he's at the top of his game and at the top of the food chain. Oh boy, I suppose even the most voracious hunters have their off days. The sun sets as the vibrant lights of a sushi bar gleam over the ocean. Dave, still hard at work, is faced with the most ravenous of species, patrons. And while cooking, serving, and pouring drinks aren't the most treacherous part of his job, they're unequivocally crucial to his survival. The blue hole is home to unimaginable secrets. And with Dave's unquenchable thirst for discovery, there's no telling what he may encounter. Dive in and guide Dave through the dangerously dark depths of the daunting deep sea.
How's that
Dave
sounding?
the
Is it a lot
diver.
better? Hopefully that's better.
Hi everyone.
I've had my
I'm
face
John
on
DeCesar.
before,
I'm the design director on Evercore Heroes.
but it's been a
And
while.
today we
I've
have
been
a really
doing. I
cool
think the
thing to
last year
show.
I've been doing
3
mostly
new heroes. One from each of our roles: a tank, a support,
Content.
and a damage dealer.
without my
And
face.
I'm going to go over each one of them in some detail. So
Hey.
let's get started. Sidian is one of
No
our
hate,
tanks. in
but
Evercore.
I look old. Well,
It's
I am old.
One of those characters that fulfills all of the
That,
classic
that sort of
roles
connects
of a tank.
that for
Damage
you.
mitigation, the ability to taunt.
Yes, so any
the
moment
ability
there's supposed to
control
be a
some enemies
new
and get them off
Blasphemous
of
2
your
trailer
allies.
that if you
But he
get
does
the
it from a far away and with
newsletter,
very unique
then
spells.
for Blasphemous
So let's
2 that you
dive
can
into
sign
that.
up for,
He has his
then
ability to
you
build up
can
a shield.
get
He passes that
emails when
shield
they
off
announce
to
stuff. They
allies.
announced that they'd be
And when he
showing a
passes
new
that shield
trailer
off,
at
will
this
do a
today.
taunt and make all of the enemies nearby taunt your ally that has
Yeah,
just
let me
been
know if
given
that's a
that
little better.
shield.
I've lowered
This is a really
the
unique spin on how
stream
to
audio a
deliver
little bit.
taunt. sometimes a mechanic that you
I
really
just
need to
literally hopped
successfully
on. I wasn't even
defeat
planning on
certain
doing this
objectives.
like even like an hour ago, but I
Additionally,
was like,
he
what
has
the
some
heck?
of
Let's
the
just do
most
it.
powerful battlefield control through his Q, which allows him to effectively launch a skill shot, travel through enemies, damaging them, and then on recast, suck all of them back to the
All
center.
right, hopefully
of
it's
the
a
source.
little better
This
balanced.
is a really powerful multi-layered ability, giving you some fun skill shot mechanics while also pulling enemies to a center
All right,
point,
thank you
which is
for all
often
the,
seen as a really fun way to
comments,
combo
trying to
with
get
other
this
allies.
quickly
So this
balanced
combination
out
of
before we
controlling
get some
the
Blasphemous
battlefield,
too.
offering allies damage mitigation, offering yourself
Hello,
some damage
Skoski.
mitigation, creating really unique ways to
It's
con.
been a while since I
Are
streamed.
all
Like I said,
ways
I
in which
just
City still
decided to hop
fulfills that
on
role of
because
tank,
I am very
but does
excited
it
for
from
Blasphemous
far
2 and I
away
want to see
through
what this
spells, which is
apparently
really that
release
unique and
date
special
trailer is
offering
all
he has
about.
to roster. With Sky, we wanted to create
All
a
right,
mage
thank you,
with lots of
Bavari.
battlefield control. She's a weather mage who can switch between water-based.
I know
control
the rumor
abilities
is
and
that
light.
Blasphemous 2 is coming
She
out
can use her
the
trait
day
to switch between the
before
forms, and every time she
Armored Core
does, her
6,
spells
which is
modify based on which element she is. One
painful.
water and one.
But we will make
Making
through.
her
It's
our
it's
weather
not a
mage.
bad thing to be overwhelmed.
Water form is
with video
focused
game
around
goodness,
giving
I
her
guess.
control elements, while lightning form is there to still give that classic mage punch. We wanted the
And then
mastery
I'm hoping
of
for
weaving between
SGF,
the two
which I won't be
forms to
streaming for
really let
SGF
the
because it
great
just
Sky
is too
players
long and I
differentiate themselves
have,
and show off.
you know, family around and stuff. But
You can see
I'm
using
hoping
the
maybe
Q
we
here,
get some more
if
Armored
positioned
Core in that.
correctly,
Not
can be a
exactly
very
sure.
powerful
We'll see.
tool in slowing a large group of enemies.
But I could use
Another
another
one of the
Armored Core.
tools
I'm
is
not
if
really
you
thinking
use
there will
the
be
E
more
in lightning
Elden
form,
Ring
it's
shown
really
because
great at
it kind of makes
interrupting
more sense
powerful
for me
enemies
for
and denying
Elden Ring to
attacks.
just wait until after
Letting her
Armored Core
weave
6
in
at this
another
point.
element of control. All of these control elements play really well with teammates, setting up great combos and keeping the battlefield easier to navigate. Bringing a complexity that is fun while
I don't
letting
know
her
what this
base
is.
abilities
I've not been
stay
paying
simple.
attention until like the game kitchen pops up, Team 17.
Chef is our very
I
special
do not
pairing
care.
with the game. We felt it was something special to make our craziest hero.
I
on the
won't
roster
be streaming
a
the whole
support
Summer Games
with
Fest
a
just
very unique
because
gameplay
it's
style.
Keely's shows are
Fantasy
too
we chase
long.
with Chef is
I
quite
may
unique.
I may
Players
watch
pick
it,
between
and
3 ingredients.
if I don't have stuff going on in
Combine
the
them to
background, I may
prepare
record
different
just in case
dishes.
there is something to
This
react
gives
to.
us a
But I
combination
don't think I
of
want
6
to live
unique
stream it
dishes,
because it just
but once
goes for
you've
like
picked your
2+
ingredients, you
hours.
aren't done. Next, you must cook the food, and we iterated on this quite a bit. And found
And
a
I haven't
simple
heard of
undercooked,
anything to get me super
cooked,
excited
and
to
burnt loop fit
think
the
it's
best.
worthwhile to stream
As you are still a
SGF.
hero,
So
dodging attacks,
I'm not really
smacking things with your pan,
motivated.
while trying to get the food just right. When
There
you
are
deliver
formats that-
undercooked or
you know, maybe
burnt
they
food,
wanted us to pop
the benefits
on
are dramatically diminished.
when
But if you nail
this
it,
was starting
the
up,
food
you
is
know, when
perfect.
the IGN
It isn't
pre-show
too
was starting
hot,
up.
It isn't too cold, and it's
So
just
I'll
right.
give them a few minutes.
You
It
get the
should be
most out of it.
happening.
Each ingredient has a
now-ish.
theme associated with it. Q.
Thank you.
or
I know
honey,
my
is our
subs
healing
title is
W
or
or
my
chili
stream title
is
is
our
wrong
damaging ingredient.
because I was
E
just
or
quickly
garlic
getting the
is our
streaming thing
defense
up.
Any
I'm at like
pairing of
28k
ingredients will
now, which
match
thank
the
you.
gameplay
It's
of the
it's kind of wild to
overarching
imagine
themes,
when I was celebrating
especially when you
20k.
do double Q for a really big heal.
Yeah, hopefully
You
soon.
must
Come
keep an eye
on.
on your
I
cooking
don't know what this
UI
is, but
and listen for the specific sounds to make
you
sure
know,
that dish is at that perfect
let's bring
place
out some
to then
Blasphemous
hit your
goodness.
trait key and serve out your food to your teammates.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all for checking
Yeah.
out the new characters in Evercore Heroes today. Remember to visit our Evercore Heroes Discord community to share your thoughts.
That's what I
on
get for
which
trying to
character
hop on
you're most
stream
excited
fast.
to play. We can't contain our excitement either as we eagerly anticipate the launch of Evercore Heroes on June 20th. For those who can't wait to jump into the action, we invite you to join our closed beta. Simply head over to evercoreheroes.com.
I know exactly. I want to get some more Carlos Viola music. That's like
with each and every
half
one
of the
you.
excitement,
See you
really.
in
The
Evercore
Blasphemous soundtrack is so good.
Wow, that was
Come on.
amazing. In fact, you're amazing. You deserve
Thank
a
you.
reward, an IGN reward.
Watch them not do
IGN
this for like
Rewards will
20
be
more
giving away
minutes.
free gaming
That's
gear
okay. We can
throughout our
chat
summer
Blasphemous
of
2 in the
gaming live
meantime.
showcases. IGN Rewards is our online destination for IGN members to claim exclusive discounts and gain access to special in-game items. So be sure to tune in to IGN all through June for your chance to score some free game codes for games like the online PvP and
the
co-op
tracks from
virtual
Blasphemous
reality
1
game
are just
Rift
like
VR,
some of my
and a
main
chance
like
to win
work
prizes like a
tracks
64
because
gigabyte Steam
I just
Deck
love the
and a
vibes, the
$100
flamenco
Nintendo
music,
gift
all
card.
the Spanish
The best thing about IGN
influences.
Rewards is
It's
it's
just
all
really,
free. Just go to
really nice and chill.
IGN.com/rewards to join our
it's
growing
so
community
good.
today. Right now, we've got game trailers, previews, and a bunch
Come on,
more.
let's do some
take a look.
Blasphemous. Let's see.
Rated M for mature.
So far, so good.
Born on the shoulders
Yes.
of 3 mighty statues. The resounding beat
Oh,
of
yeah.
a great heart could be heard emanating from the clouds.
Yes. Oh yeah.
For the miracle was about to give birth to a child.
Hell yeah.
A symbol in which all our faiths, pleas, and hopes might be united in communion.
I love it. Ooh.
This endless waiting
I love it.
has been my penance.
Oh, I love that. That's confirmed August 24th, which is exciting. Happy to have. But also, oh my god. Oh, 1 day before an Armored Core 6. That's just brutal. Alright. Let's see. Let's go back. I don't care about the other stuff. Let's go. Doing this on the fly. I don't know if it is Escobar, but I do wonder. Okay. Let's see.
Trailers, previews, and a bunch more.
I'm
Let's
gonna
take
watch it
look.
a little more, chat a little more, because I just want to see it some more. Because we have seen little clips of this gameplay in some of their recent
Rated M
tweets
for
from the
mature.
Blasphemous game page on Twitter.
Born on the shoulders of 3
Nice to
mighty
see you,
statues.
Xanathar. Thanks for coming.
The resounding beat
Hey,
of a great heart
it's tough to
could be
choose
heard
between your
emanating
babies,
from
you
the
know?
clouds.
So this is the end of Wounds of Eventide. So you have the 3 different weapons. The executions are
miracle.
great.
Was about to give birth to a child.
Got the flagellant back. I love
A symbol in
the
which
executions
all our
with the
faiths,
wooden arm.
pleas, and hopes might be united in communion.
So these seem kind of like the big bosses. Oh, that's a great execution. That looks disgusting. So we've also seen that last... a minute, I can pause it. So this... I've watched the Blasphemous 2 trailers the most of anyone in the world, hopefully. I hope someone
A
hasn't watched
symbol
it
in
more.
which all our faiths, pleas, and hopes
Oh, the art direction,
might
it's
be
so good.
united in
I
communion.
want to see this one boss. Again. Awesome. Let's see. So we've seen some of that. So this right here, this boss room, this is where we've seen, yeah, it's I think it's a different face. So it looks like this may be a boss, which I thought it was an NPC, so it's interesting to see. It's a really crazy looking room, so I'm excited for that. Looks good. And Barry Roger, the art style and the cutscenes, it was mentioned for people who got a hands-on look over in Seville a few weeks back. They said that the cutscenes are like the Wounds of Eventide trailer, so they're doing some of that art style intermixed with the gameplay. All right. Let's see. Oh, so, because I've watched the trailer so many times, there's a level where you can see, and if you've watched my previous videos on Blasphemous 2 trailer analysis, I mentioned how there was a building where you could tell from the background that it's upside down, and it was the place with all the candles and the wax melting, and it looks like this is kind of confirmation that that location is indeed upside down. I need to go back. Like, what is happening with all those? Okay. Okay, who all is here? Because that's a big boy. Okay, okay. I thought at first that was one of the bosses, but maybe not. But so this looks like it's a penitent of some kind. Maybe a boss, maybe not one of the big ones. But we've seen a little bit of this with the spearman with the seaweed hanging off. This is down near the sea. And maybe, I don't think it is that guy. But I don't know, I guess it is that guy because he's wielding an axe and he also has some seaweed hanging off of him. We saw a piece of promotional art for sort of I think it's the equivalent of the first 3 big bosses in Blasphemous 1. And it seems like you're trying to get them to like lower the city to get to it. Smowtown did a really good sort of overview of the of stuff he saw in the hands-on preview, and he mentioned something about how there's a city held up by the 3 statues, and it seems like you're trying to lower the 3 statues. So that's roughly, it seems like what your goal is in the first part of the game. I think, so G Tortilla, did Blasphemous sell well? I wonder how the budget compares to the sequel. One of the things mentioned was that their budget's a lot better, and that it gives them time to produce what they want in the time frame to do it in. So their budget is much better. And from what I know, Blasphemous 1 sold at least 2 million copies. So pretty good, especially for a small team.
This endless
That looks
waiting
awesome.
has been my penance.
Ah, yes. And I wonder if that person talking is, there's a guy in the middle. Oh, I should bring up the image. There's a group of people from a promotional art image, and there's a guy in the middle who seems to be like maybe the big bad penitente. So maybe that's him. Maybe it's Escobar. I'm not sure. Because if the penitent one can come back, Escobar can sure come back. Okay. First of all, I love this, this headless, I guess they're invisible people because you can see the swords but no hands. That's awesome. Maybe, I don't know why they're invisible. I don't think that's something we've really seen before, so that's new. I'm just framing through this because there's something I wanted to catch, but it's a really quick flash at the end. Come on. First of all, I think I wanted to mention this scene right here where he's jumping between platforms fighting. Oh, this looks to be another one of the penitents. It's a penitent holding like a corpse or something. But, oh, these faces. Awesome. But one of the things that I've been really excited about for Blasphemous 2 is I actually came to enjoy, on its own terms, the platforming in Blasphemous 1. But I have to say, everything they're doing with Blasphemous 2 in the platforming, it just looks so much more active, and it's just really exciting, especially with the different weapons, how the weapons play into the platforming, and how they do different they can unlock different areas and such, and how they'll be used to do like dashes and other abilities. I just think the combat and the movement of the platforming, it just looks really good.
This endless
I love it.
waiting.
Okay. This is what I think this is what I want to see. So you got these 2 people. Looks like some wings or robes. The Miriam trials. Yes, I certainly know. I'm making a Blasphemous 1 video, sort of a big one. And as part of that, I have to play through the Miriam trials again. And I told myself I would never play through the Miriam trials again because, if I'm being honest, I don't. They're fun to do once, but they're really, I think they're slightly too precise for the level of precision you can actually do in Blasphemous 1 platforming. I think it's a little bit hateful in a way that I don't particularly enjoy. That's it. All right, let's see. I don't want to miss it. Penitente looking great, holding the rapier and dagger. I love it.
Has been
Come on. Yeah, I'm excited to see these animated scenes. I thought that was really nice for Winds of Eventide. Okay. Okay. Those little cocoons in the background, we've seen an environment with people cocooned up. It looks like it's in a palace or something along those lines. And so this looks to be another Penitente. I love how many penitent fights there look to be in Blasphemous 2, because I just like they're expanding the lore of the penitents. It's a lot of fun, and it's just really funny, like what they're based on. Or you see them in these processions in Seville, and it's very somber. But then in Blasphemous, of course, they're all like superheroes basically. But yeah, so this looks like I think they're showing off a fair amount of bosses. And for those who don't know, I'll bring up the release date here, just to have that sit over me. So they're still just showing PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series X and S. It has been sort of confirmed by them that they are working on PS4 and Xbox One versions of Blasphemous 2, if that's where you tend to play. There's hope. I don't know if it'll be happening at launch, but it sounds like it's something they're working on. It's just the platforms really don't want people playing on the old platforms. They're really trying to push the current gen stuff, so I guess that sounds like it was part of the reasoning for initially just doing this, because that's sort of what Xbox and PlayStation are pushing. But it sounds like they are also getting last gen versions out, which is good, because I think a lot of people played Blasphemous on PS4. I think Switch is a really good platform for it myself, but yeah, I don't even know what I was going to say before. I'm just very excited to see this. This looks awesome. A short trailer. But man. Yeah, so this looks like maybe it's rising up out of the ocean. I love this sort of reminds me of like Dark Souls 2. The opening where you see the city down below, but up top it's like ruins. But that's a sick image, and you can see it from a few different distances, which is cool, because I think they're going to be playing a lot more with like building out how the world feels through having these backgrounds to sort of show you getting closer and further. You didn't really have that too much in Blasphemous 1. It's sort of like moving kind of linear across the map. Yeah. I played it through on Switch, PS4, and I'm playing it through on PC now, so it'll be my third time getting all achievements for it. So, Ghost Reflect asks, do you think the game will still have pixel art cutscenes? We haven't seen any. I'm not sure if they are going to, based off of what I've heard, and I do like the pixel art cutscenes, especially I think early game. Those really set the tone, like the beginning of the game where she stabs herself, and then the penitent one, like getting all the blood in his helmet, like really set the tone for me, and like we're such a strong opening with that art style. But it seems like they're moving more towards the like Wounds of Eventide art style with that animation, and I believe they're working with another local Spanish studio to do that, and I just really appreciate how dedicated the Game Kitchen is to working with other Spanish artists and devs. I just think it's really cool, because clearly this game is something of a love letter to Andalusia. This guy, if you don't know, was a cut boss from Blasphemous 1, and it looks like he's making his return in a big bad way for the sequel. Like that look. Yeah, certainly. A love letter. If you've seen, I'm not going to bring it all up right now because it's just not tech savvy enough to bounce back and forth, but on Twitter, they did show what the death screen looks like in Blasphemous 2, and it's definitely like a Metroid reference, because instead of like, it still brings up the screen, but then the Blasphemous one does that sort of like Samus like where they like throw themselves back, and the Penitent one's armor doesn't burst off like Samus does, but the animation and the movement is very much a Metroid homage. The Flagellants are looking beefier. The characters in general I think are bigger in this one. They got bigger sprites this time. So what is everyone thinking as far as the there's three weapons, and from what I know you'll get to start with one of the weapons, and I think it's been described in the hands-on preview that you will get to play with each weapon before you have to decide. And so you have the rapier and dagger, you have the war censer, and then you have the praying blade. I'm curious what people are most excited about. I put a poll up on Twitter and on my YouTube channel just to see what people were interested in. I'm kind of all about the war censer. You will eventually get all of them, and I think a lot of the fun will be getting to switch quickly between weapons as you get further into the game. But I really love the look of the war censer. I'm a sucker for a big, heavy weapon. Yeah, the war censer is in both polls came up as slightly less, but it's actually pretty even across all weapons, which is a good sign as far as making them appealing to people. Oh wait, what am I doing? I don't want to watch that. Watch it again.
Rated M for mature.
Born.
That's dope. I love that. And I think this is a cutscene, so I think this is the style we can expect for the cutscenes. I'm glad there's a lot of war censer love. Because I think if you watch some of the gameplay snips they've posted on the Twitter account, you can see like the distortion from the flames when they use like flame abilities for the war censer. It looks awesome. Let's see.
On the shoulders of three mighty statues, the resounding beat of a great heart could be heard emanating from the clouds.
So I feel like this is probably like right at the beginning of the game. And I also have to point out, we got our poor Deo Gracias standing back there, just holding. He's turned to stone, it looks like. Deo Gracias. I know I've seen a lot of chat for Blasphemous fans hoping like this character, that character returns. We may have a little bit of that, but it seems largely like Blasphemous 1 had its characters and Blasphemous 2 has different ones. But man, my boy, this is a very similar shape to that one. I can't remember the name right now. It's in the Where Olive Trees Wither, when you get down into that cave after getting the tree guy to give you the item. This is like the same shape, I wonder. It's just very similar in the style. I am also glad that Penitent 1 is back, because he's I don't know if he's exactly a cipher, because I'm not sure about you guys, but in Blasphemous 1, when he puts on the helmet, I was just like, this guy is a freaking psychopath, and I love him, and I will protect him at all costs. But so he's not exactly a cipher, because I don't see myself in the Penitent one, and you don't really have any particular choices to make that would like characterize him. But I also love him. He's just a really good mascot too. I think that's a new enemy. They are I don't want to say reusing, because even with the enemies that I've seen that are the same from Blasphemous 1, there's either new animations, like they brought back the Bell Boys, but now you have an execution move for them using your wooden arm, and it's like, putting the roots in the holes of the bell and like crunching it. It looks awesome. But they're bringing back enemies from Blasphemous 1. This guy looks new though. Looks pretty sick. Penitent 1 face reveal. For speaking of Elden Ring, my first playthrough, as soon as I got the Blasphemous blade from Rykard, that was my thing. I was trying to be Penitente going around. I used the twin set, so I didn't get super close to it being accurate, but that was my whole thing. I was being the Penitent 1 as soon as I got that. And I personally like to believe it is a reference to Blasphemous just because it's called the Blasphemous Blade. The shape of the little arms and stuff is vaguely reminiscent of Mea Culpa. Rip Mea Culpa. But I think these new weapons are awesome. So they also mentioned another thing if you haven't read through all the interviews. I didn't make any content on it. I didn't make a video because my buddy Smotown made a video and I think he covers everything really well and he was actually there. So I kind of just wanted to, let him tell his story. And one thing he mentioned and one thing that was mentioned in a couple articles is that one thing they kind of want to do is they're playing more with like combat with multiple enemies and sort of not so much crowd control, but they're trying to put you through more of these more complicated situations more than just coming across each guy. And I thought they did that pretty well in Blasphemous 1 too. They often had pretty like intriguing, like logical matchups that played well with each other, but it sounds like that's something they're exploring even more in Blasphemous 2. Yeah, Elamer's armor is the way to do it. This is a good execution. I want to actually see, like, does he just stomp on him? This is also in the watery place. Beautiful. So happy to have some new executions to enjoy.
For the miracle was about to give birth to a child.
Baby miracle.
A symbol in which all our faiths, pleas, and hopes.
So this is the guy who we see later, where it looks like Penitente is fighting him alongside a couple of spearmen, which was a little surprising because I just figure he's a boss. You fight him alone in a boss room, but maybe they're playing with that a little bit more.
Might be united in communion.
What is that? Take you on. This is how, if you ever wanted to know, this is how I myself enjoy trailers. I don't know if this is what other people do. But I watch it and then frame through it. Okay, so it's a bunch of swords going into that heart that's been cracked open. Oh, he's eating one of... So he's got these dudes laying around, these little skeleton guys on boards, and yeah, he's chomping on them. Eating them up. Man, it looks so good. It looks like you'll get some cutscenes of like maybe going to areas, which is kind of neat.
This endless waiting has been my penance.
Oh, I'm so excited though. As much as Blasphemous 2 coming out the day before Armored Core 6 is painful, as far as like someone who wants to play both and also someone who would maybe like to make content about both. I'm excited that it's coming so soon. That is not much time. We are coming up on just a couple months until the game's out, which is awesome. Yeah, I think they also I think I know what you're talking about, Ghost Reflect with the painting. I think that's some more Goya reference potentially, because they have in Blasphemous 1, God, what is his name? The guy in the tree is what I'm going to call him right now. Jimino. He is also a reference to that painting, but this is a bit more direct, I would say, because Jimino's just like vaguely modeled after it, I guess, but it's in the art book. They explain a lot of their inspirations for the enemies in Blasphemous 1. Yes, we are getting a whole cake this summer. This whole year has been nuts. I don't know about you. I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom, and I know I'm barely anywhere in that game, so it's tough to keep up. I am not expecting anything related to Elden Ring today, and I won't be streaming SGF. If I thought, or if, I'd heard a rumor that Elden Ring was definitely going to show up, I would probably, you know, have this stream going if I could make it work. But as it is, I'm not going to sit through Keeley Fest, at least, without having some work up or doing something else. So I'm not expecting Elden Ring myself. I could very much be wrong. That would be exciting. But for me, I think, and I've been wrong a lot this year about what From Software does as someone who's followed them, because they're just not they're not following their precedents. They're doing new things. It doesn't make much sense to me for them to market Elden Ring so close to AC6 releasing. It feels like it would make sense for Bamco and From Software to want to give Armored Core 6 its time to get out and then bring Elden Ring in. But I think the fact that Armored Core 6 is even coming before the DLC is already something that I thought was a little bit of a crazy move. But I think when it comes to that, it may just come down to the simple fact that the dev time and the scope of the Elden Ring DLC may be quite large, and they just didn't have a choice. Like, they needed to release AC6. They weren't going to wait until after because it was a ways off, so they're going to release it this year. It's the 25th anniversary for Armored Core, I think, so it's like a great year to release Armored Core 6. I think Blasphemous 2 is definitely, it's already in the running for my game of the year. So but Blasphemous is up there in my sort of pantheon. It's right, so it's tough, and I'll present my honest approach to this. Is Blasphemous 1 for me is like, when it comes to art direction and atmosphere, which is a big way in which I enjoy games, that's like up there with the Souls games for me and what From Software does. So I don't want to have to fight between Blasphemous 2 and Armored Core 6 because mech games and sci-fi are a little less my thing, but I'm very much excited for it. But man, I don't want to have them fight, because I love a From Software game launch, especially because there will be like, PvP and other, like, just the community enjoying the game. That's From Software is like unmatched for how enjoyable their launches are for that reason. But man, I want to play Blasphemous too. I love the Game Kitchen's approach to making games. I think they have a lot of similarities, where they're very mechanical focused, and then they bring in the story, but they just like let their artists go wild and they fit it all in. And I just love it. And I love how it's like a love letter to Andalusia, and this, it's such an interesting thing to get to see more of for this Spanish culture that I wasn't aware of personally. Yeah, so Silksong, Silksong coming out now would kill me, especially if it came out in the fall for some reason. So I'm okay at this point with Silksong taking its time, but just stay away from Elden Ring DLC. Can Elden Ring DLC just release? That would be for me a real purgatory would be Elden Ring DLC coming out right alongside Blasphemous 2, because ooh, it's that's a tough one. Don't make my babies fight, because Elden Ring, I know it's hard to top Elden Ring. So gamers are eating too good. I know. So I think Elden Ring DLC. I'm kind of on Team 2024 at this point, just because I also don't know where you would put that in, except for maybe at the end of the year. But yeah, so I'm Team 2024 for Elden Ring DLC, so I'm thinking like TGA, maybe like Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show seem more likely to me, but who knows? Honestly, anything could happen. So, but regarding, I think, and it makes me sad because I want a Blasphemous 2 Collector's Edition. I want a physical edition, but seems so far they're only talking digital. And last I heard, they didn't have any collector's editions, like information that they could share or planned, as far as I could tell. And it seems like it may first release just digital, but like Blasphemous 1 also released digital first, and then they had a bunch of really cool collector's edition stuff come out. But it would be awesome to get it on release with a collector's edition, but they may not do a physical edition prior to August 24th, 2023. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Well, I think I am. That was the Blasphemous 2 trailer. I think I'm gonna skip for now. But I had to I literally saw that there was a Blasphemous 2 trailer coming out. I just left work, came here to stream because I am very excited for Blasphemous 2. I am a huge, huge fan of Blasphemous, and the Game Kitchen deserves, all the praise in my opinion. And I can't wait to see what they do with a bigger budget and less time constraints. So it sounds like they've really gotten to do what they wanted with this game, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. But I am going to hop off for now. What time is it? Got about 40 minutes till SGF. I will be on my Discord talking. Most likely I like to put SGF. I like to put Keeley shows up while I'm doing something else because they're so long and they're filled with commercials. But thanks for joining me talking about Blasphemous 2. I will probably, make a bit more content about what's released recently. But I've been working away on something for Blasphemous 1 that I'm looking forward to sharing, or at least describing soon and releasing a little later. But thank you guys. Thank you for dropping on this last minute stream, and I really enjoyed it. So see you later.